This is the raw reality of actually making, $20,000 a month online that no one ever really talks about, right? You see all these videos all the time of people talking about how making money is so fun and it's so easy and, anyone can do it and it takes no work, and they make it out to be this almost fairy tale, which to a degree sounds too good to be true, but you want to believe it so bad that you cling on to this idea, right? And you hear these stories, people making, how I went from 0 to 10K in 5 days in a new niche with no case studies and all this stuff, right? And you get programmed, you get bought into this idea, this notion that making money is somehow easy. Making money is somehow something that everybody can do, right? And we buy into this idea, and all everyone ever talks about is how easy entrepreneurship is, right? All you see these gurus talk about is, how easy it is to make money online, this is the fastest way. You can make money so fast doing this. But yet, you never hear them talk about the downsides. You never hear anyone share the dark reality, like the truth behind entrepreneurship. And that's what I want to do. Because, man, entrepreneurship ain't fucking easy. It's not. Entrepreneurship, there's no guarantee in entrepreneurship. There's no guarantee at all. That's why most people never try, because you're not guaranteed anything. You could work for 10 years straight and have nothing to show for it. You could work early mornings, late nights, 18-hour shifts every single day, and after months and months and months, and someone asks you, hey, how's the business going? You're scared to say nothing has happened. Because that's entrepreneurship. Because it's difficult. You see, we've been, with all the increase in social media, we've bought into this idea that somehow making money is easy and quick and fast, when that couldn't be further from the truth. As a matter of fact, I'd argue that a lot of this and most of these guys even took a while to make their money. But no one talks about it. Because it's not sexy. No one talks about the doubts, the self-doubt that you have every single day. Every single day, the amount of self-doubt that you have as an entrepreneur. How you wake up and you question if the business is even going to continue. You question if it's all worth it. You question if it's even going to work. You question if everything's going to crumble. And sometimes you just sit there and you stare at a wall and you're like, what the fuck have I got myself into? And you sit there looking at your screen like you have no idea what you're doing. Yet you're somehow supposed to figure it all out, yet you have no idea how. And you just sit there wondering, am I even doing the right thing? Am I even doing the things that matter? Am I even going in the right direction? Am I even progressing? Am I even making progress? Is this even for me? Is it too far gone? Should I give up? Have I done too much? Am I going to lose my clients? When am I going to close my next client? Fuck, when's my rent due? How am I going to afford my groceries? What happens if everything goes down? What happens if the market doesn't need me anymore? What happens if AI takes over? What happens if I can't fulfill the promises I've made? And the self-doubt starts to creep in. I ask these questions to myself almost daily. Some days it'll be horrible, and I'll just sit here and I'm like, what have I got myself into? What am I doing? Am I even going to make it? Am I even cut out for this? And then other days I feel like everything is fine. But no one talks about those days where you're just sitting there by yourself, not knowing if it's going to work, and you somehow have to muster up the courage to actually get behind your desk and work. Or those days where you've slept for 2 hours, and the last thing you want to do is sit at your desk and do the work and hop on calls and talk to people and book more appointments. But you know you have to, because if you don't, the business is going to go under. No one talks about that. No one talks about how much you second guess yourself, how much you doubt yourself, how much you question your ability to do what you're doing, or if you're even doing the right thing in the right place in the right time, or if you're even in the right niche, running the right offer. The amount of doubt that you have. No one talks about this stuff. No one mentions it. We just, water under the bridge. And that's why so many people, I think, get so caught up in entrepreneurship, is because they went in with a false expectation of what entrepreneurship really is. They go into it with these high expectations, thinking that it's going to be some glamorous, beautiful fairy tale that they're going to do a little amount of work. There's going to be no suffering, no pain, no nothing, and they're just going to get everything they ever dreamed of. And then when they join and they actually try, they get hit with the harsh reality that it's not what it seems. Entrepreneurship isn't what people make it out to be on social media. It isn't always driving these fast cars in these nice penthouses, eating good food all the time. 90+% of the time, it's sitting behind your desk while you're tired, while you're angry, while you're sad, while you're demotivated, while you're doubting yourself, and doing the work you know you need to do regardless of how you feel. And doing that day in and day out and day in and day out, even if there's no results to show for it, day in and day out. Because entrepreneurship is this. It's work, no results. Work, no results. Work, no results. Work, boom. And then you finally get a break. The problem is most people aren't willing to go through those first 400 works. They just want to go right from the work to the results. But that's not how it works. I think the biggest reason people fail entrepreneurship is because of the expectations they set for themselves. If I told you that you would make $10,000 a month, but you would only make it after being in the game for 3 years and after making 20,000 cold calls, would that change your perspective on how well and or how bad you're doing? For most people, it would. Most people, that would totally change the way they view it. I think the reason why so many people give up so often is because they think it should be easier than it is. They've made 100 cold calls and wonder why they haven't booked an appointment. Yet there's guys out here who've made hundreds of thousands of cold calls that know how to cold call, that are now then booking 5 appointments every 20 dials, for example. But all you see is the 5 appointments for $20. You wonder, why can I get there? All you see is that guy driving the Lambo, and you wonder, why don't I have a Lambo? But you don't see is the fact that for 7 years straight, he didn't go out, he didn't hang out with friends, he didn't party. All he did was sat behind his desk in pain, in suffering, in sacrifice, doubting himself, but he stuck it out. And now he has a Lambo and a nice car, a nice watch to show for it. But we don't see this. We don't see the tip of the iceberg. And the thing is, everybody wants the view, but nobody wants to climb. Everyone wants the prize, but no one wants to pay the price. Everyone wants the trophy, but no one wants to do the training. We want the good, but without the bad. But what makes the good in the first place is the fact that there's bad associated with it. The reason why a six-pack is desirable is because it's hard to get one. You have to be dedicated and consistent. And that's difficult for most people to do. It's why when you see someone that's in shape, you respect them. Why? Because you know it's hard to be in shape. If everyone was in shape, would you sit there and respect people that are really big? No, you wouldn't. Do we sit here and respect people that are obese? No. Why? Because everyone can be obese. If I wanted to, I could be obese over in fucking night if I so please. And so can you. And so can anyone else in this world. As a matter of fact, it's easier to be obese than it is to be in shape. That's why we don't praise people that are obese, but we praise people that are in shape. Why? Because we know it's hard to do. If everyone drove a Lamborghini, would you sit there and freak out every time you saw a Lamborghini? No, because everyone had one. Would you feel good about having a Lamborghini if everyone had a Lamborghini? No, you wouldn't. Why? Because everyone else has one. The only reason why it's valuable in the first place is the fact that no one else has it. That's what makes these things so cool, is the fact that there's so much scarcity attached with it, and typically so much pain, so much suffering. Right? Lambo costs a lot of money. Does everyone have a lot of money? No, they don't. So people know if you have a Lambo, you got a lot of money. And therefore, they associate that with, wow, respect. That is hard to do. And yet we intrinsically know this, yet we wish it was easy. But the thing is, if it were easy, you wouldn't even want it. Because if I just placed $1 million in your bank account, some of you would say, or most of you would say, yeah, that'd be awesome. But after a short while, after you've done all the things you said you wanted to do, and you've traveled and whatever, you're like, damn, I didn't really earn that money. I didn't really work for it. You don't value the money the same because you didn't work for it, you didn't earn it. It just got given to you, and therefore you don't place any value onto that money, and therefore the things you buy, you don't feel good about buying. The only reason why buying a Lambo is so cool with your hard-earned money is the fact that you had to work hard to earn that money. You have sweat equity. Someone just gave you a Lambo, it's like, yeah, it'd be cool, but even down the street, like, it's not really mine. Didn't really earn it. You kind of feel bad. You kind of feel bad. I just think that a lot of people don't understand how hard entrepreneurship really is. Truly, how hard it truly is. To do something that you don't even know if it'll work. You don't even know if it'll last. You don't even know if it'll be worth your time. You don't even know if you're going to get anything for it. But with undeniable conviction and certainty, you do it anyway. And that I define as delusion. You have to be delusional to some extent to become a successful entrepreneur. To some extent, you have to be so crazy that people look and go, what the fuck? And if people don't look at you and go, what the fuck, it means you're not doing something big enough. It means you're doing something normal. And who wants to be normal? But no one talks about how hard it is to sleep at night when you have no idea if your business is going to go under tomorrow. No one talks about how hard it is to sleep at night when you have no idea if the money you made this month is going to happen again next month. No one talks about how hard it is when everything is going wrong, but you still have to somehow pretend to your family, to your friends, to your teammates that everything's fine. No one talks about how hard it is when everything is crumbling, but you still have to show up and do the work every single day. No one talks about that. No one ever mentions those things. Right? No one ever talks about that because it's not sexy. It doesn't get views. It doesn't sound good. It doesn't help people sell their courses. Right? If you talk about how bad it is and how hard it is, no one's going to buy all these courses that people sell. Wouldn't make any sense. And so they have to falsify this idea that entrepreneurship is easy. But it's not. It's not, and the thing is, most people that want to become entrepreneurs are exactly that, entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, most entrepreneurs, the reason why it's called the 1% is because most fail. And everyone says, oh yeah, that won't be me. But that's what all the other 99% of everyone else said as well, is that it won't be me. And it will be some of you. And some of you may hate to admit that, but some of you, that will be you, right? That, like, you will be part of that number that don't make it. And that's because it's so hard. And there's no guarantee. There's no certainty. That's why people like their 9-to-5s. They know if they show up, they do what they're supposed to do, they're going to get a paycheck. In entrepreneurship, you could show up for years and have nothing to show. There's no guarantee. That's why it's so hard to do entrepreneurship alone. Probably one of the hardest things to do is to try and do entrepreneurship alone. And I'm not talking about like with a partner, like a business partner, but even just by yourself. I try to work through these things by yourself is impossible. Every single time I have one of these, situations, which happens a lot, where I don't know what's happening, I feel like everything's going under, I'm doubting myself and I'm sitting there thinking, what the fuck? I instantly turn to my mentors and my friends. My business friends, I should preface, right? I instantly turn to those people who can give me insight and context on my situation. And it's crazy how much getting someone else's perspective that is aligned with your goals can help you out with this. That's why I think that your environment, your group, your tribe, your inner circle, your people is one of the most important things in entrepreneurship, is who you surround yourself with. Because if you surround yourself with people who are aligned with you, who have the same goals, ambitions, drive, etc. as you, you will never fail. But if you surround yourself with people who are weak-minded, who are easily, swayed one way or another, who aren't rooting for you, who don't understand the game of entrepreneurship, you're never going to make it. Because you can't do it alone. You just can't do it by yourself. You can't lock yourself in a room, not talk to a single person, and think that you're somehow magically money is somehow going to just come and fly out the air and slap you in your face. That's just not how it works. As a matter of fact, that's almost a recipe for disaster, because ultimately the self-doubt will get the best of you. And you will give up. And unless you have people in your corner backing you and guiding you throughout the entire process, you might as well not start in the first place. Because your circle, your tribe, your people is arguably the make or break. Like I tried for so many years to make money online by myself. I would even, when I was young, 13, I would search up online how to make money fast online as a teenager. And I tried so many different ways, right? I tried snow shoveling. I tried cleaning cars. I tried babysitting. I tried cleaning windows. I tried even like cleaning houses, mowing lawns, if I said that. I even tried reselling. I would like buy stuff at local thrift stores, and I would resell it with other thrift stores in town, or even online if it was a special piece on Grailed. I tried that. I tried eBay. I tried to flip stuff on eBay, on Marketplace. I even tried drop shipping. I tried all this stuff. And the one time when I had a big breakthrough, my biggest breakthrough, when I went from 0 to 10K, was when I finally decided to bite my ego and join a group of entrepreneurs that were like me. I joined this mastermind group with a bunch of other guys, and I just saw other guys making money. And when everyone around you is making money and you see yourself the same as those people, you start to question, why can't I? And then you start to believe it, and you go, wow, why can't I? If they can, why can't I? You see it firsthand, you go, if he can, why can't I? And you start to believe it. And the more you start to believe it, the closer you start to get. And not long after I dropped out of university, I quit my 9 to 5, and I went all in. Now I'm here. But that would have never been possible, not even remotely possible, if it weren't for the people I spent my time with. If it weren't for the people in my corner backing me, if it weren't for the people that were supporting me and giving me advice and helping me out through those hard times when the only thing you want to do is just give up. When you just feel like nothing is going right and you just want to give up. If it weren't for those people, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. And so everyone talks about all the fun sides of entrepreneurship. Oh, you get to travel and do this and work from everywhere. And that's true. Yeah, that's true. But they don't talk about the absolute overwhelming amount of mental space it takes up, and also responsibility, right? When you have team members, when you have clients, you have a responsibility to those people to show up every single day. And so it doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter if you're sad, angry, mad, like it doesn't matter. You still have to show up, and that's even what just being a man is you just have to show up every single day. And the thing is, most days you don't feel like it, but you still have to show up and pretend like you do. And all these things is what just makes entrepreneurship so hard. And this is the dark reality. Like, this is the true, honest, like the honest truth of entrepreneurship. Is that it's not easy. It's not always fun. It's not always quick. As a matter of fact, usually things take an extraordinary long period of time. Like an extraordinary long period of time. And it's hard to swallow that pill because it's something you don't want to believe. You don't want it to take a long time. You want it to be quick, fast, and easy. So yeah, if you're still here, hey. But when you watch these videos on YouTube, mine included, I'm not going to pretend I'm outside of this equation, just take everything with a grain of salt, because the whole point of social media is to show your best side. Sit there, do your makeup, style your hair, perfect lighting, like it's everything to be perfect. And so people don't want to show you the bad side because that would lower their status. It would lower their chances that you buy from them. Right? People are although we're in a world of authenticity, people are very unauthentic and very reluctant to want to share who they really are. Right? Or even share their intentions. Like, I will openly and wholeheartedly admit that there's a link below, 2 links, I think. One's a free group where you can hop on free calls with me and get free stuff. And one's a paid thing you can apply to join my inner circle of guys. I'll admit, I post YouTube videos in hopes that people like me enough to join that and give me the opportunity to allow me to change their life. I'll admit that. But I also admit that I believe in doing it for a good purpose. And whether you believe it or not, it's up to you. But I think that there's an overwhelming amount of people online who are only trying to just put their best foot forward in hopes that you will like the idea or the picture of them that they've presented to you, so you buy into that. It's almost like dating, right? in the sense that people on Tinder will put their best pictures up. And in the first couple dates, they'll only try and show their good side, good side, good side. Right? And here's what happens, is they only show you the good side until there's a ring on the finger, until they date, and it's official and they're committed. And guess what happens? We see this all the time. The second the guy gets married, what does he do? He stops working hard, stops going to the gym, stops taking care of his body, and guess what happens? The girl stops respecting him. Because the whole reason why she fell in love with him in the first place, because he was ambitious, because he was fit, because he had passion, because he had goals, etc., he now lost because he felt complacent with her. And then she starts to fall out of love for him. And then they break up. And now the guy is depressed because not only did he lose his wife, he also lost everything he had going for him. His body, his money, his drive, his goals, ambition, etc. Everything. I think it's somewhat the same in business in the sense everyone tries to put their good foot forward just to get what they want. And once they get what they want, they're like, yes. And they just run. So yeah, I guess entrepreneurship is not what people make it out to be. And there's a lot of downsides that no one talks about. And my goal is to shed light on those things and remind you, and even just let you know that, hey, if you doubt yourself, that's okay. If you second guess yourself, that's okay. If you feel like everything is about to blow up in your fucking face, that's okay. If you feel like you're not sure if this is right for you, that's okay. If you feel like you're going through a midlife crisis and you're just all over the place, I want you to know that that's okay. That happens to me. It happens to all the most successful entrepreneurs you ever see. This happens to all of us. Some people are just better at hiding it than others, and some people just don't even want to share it in the first place because they think it makes them look weak. But it doesn't, because it happens to all of us, and it's normal. It's part of the game. Everybody goes through these phases. And the thing is, they don't get easier as you go. You just get better at recognizing when they're there and how to deal with them. As a matter of fact, the magnitude of the problems, I would argue, increase as you get bigger and as you level up in business. These things only get bigger because now instead of just focusing on, what if I'm not going to make it? You think, shit, well, if I don't make it, the business doesn't make it. If the business doesn't make it, I have 100 clients I have to refund. If I have to refund 100 clients, what the fuck's going to happen? Oh my goodness, and I have a team of 20 members. How the fuck am I going to take care of them? And that's when the real problems start to set in. It only gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. There's obviously a lot of upsides. I'm not here to try and admit the fact that entrepreneurship isn't great. It's amazing. It's one of the most blessed things I've ever had in my life, and I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm actually happy that it's hard because that's what makes it worth doing in the first place. But I want to shed light on the fact that there is difficulties, there's downsides to it. A lot. And a lot more than people know, or even willing to admit in the first place. So I hope that you now know that the way you're feeling is okay. The way you're feeling is normal. The way you're feeling, other people feel as well. And even this is something that's helped me a lot with dealing with shiny object syndrome, is knowing that everyone gets that. Everyone gets shiny object syndrome. Everyone. Everyone gets those moments where they're not sure if it's going to work. Everyone has those moments where they feel like their life is about to implode. Everyone gets those moments. And it's calming knowing that other people have felt the same way and have got through it. I think that's what makes it easier for me to get through it now, is knowing that, hey, this is normal. Whenever there's a lot of chaos in my life, I know that that's normal. As a matter of fact, that's where growth happens, is when it's chaotic. That's when you grow the most. So I almost look forward to those times. In the moment, it's hard to look forward to them. I say now, sitting here, I look forward to those moments. But I guarantee when I'm in one of those moments, I'll be sitting there calling my mentor right away. First thing I'll do is call my mentor. Hey man, I need help. This happened. And what's crazy is how after just talking to somebody else other than yourself, that can give you an outside bird's eye perspective on your situation, you feel so much better. That's why I think it's so important to have people around you that you can talk to and turn to, that are on your team and that also want the best for you and understand your situation, right? Like there's a lot of friends I have that I wouldn't turn to because I know that it would render useless. So you got to make sure you have the right people around you. It's not about just having people, but having the right people as well. Anyways, I think I'm going to end our little chat, our little rant, our little talk here. So I can get back to work. Despite the fact that I'm fucking tired, I'm hungry, and I don't want to work. It has to be done. It doesn't matter how you feel. You just have to do the things you know you have to do regardless of how you feel. And if you can do that long enough, eventually you'll see the results. The problem is the results come way after you think they do. So it makes you want to give up. But if you don't, I promise, there's a lot of good things to come from it. So yeah, a reminder, entrepreneurship is not easy. but nothing that's worth it is easy.